Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Iowa in the Xfinity Series and we go to our first road course race of the season in Sonoma for the Cup Series. But first, obviously, we have the Xfinity race in Iowa. We had Carl Edwards in the car for today. So the first time he's in the car, he will be in the car a few more times throughout the season. So we were excited to have him in the car for Iowa here as he started in the 18th position as he came through down into turns 1 and turns 2. A tough track to really run good at. I don't know if our team's ever even finished in the top 10 in Iowa. Maybe we did get a top 10 here with Haley Deegan in the rookie season for her in the Xfinity Series, but Carl, he would work his way up to about P15 or so by about the midway point of this race, and he would kind of stall out there as he couldn't really move much further ahead as he came towards the final lap of this race here in Iowa. He was still about in the 15th position as he came down towards the back straightaway on the final lap of this race. You see him in front of the 8 car now, setting it up the inside of the 22 of Austin Cindric, trying to get up to P14, and that move would not work as it would actually cost him a position as he came out of turn 4. He would drop down to P16 to come through and finish exactly in that position here in Iowa. So still a pretty decent result for Carl Edwards with this team, so I wasn't too disappointed with that, but now we sit 10th in the points as a team right now. So now it's time to go road course racing in the Cup Series here in Sonoma for the first road course of the season. I always look forward to road course racing, though. As you see on the qualifying lap, I screwed up the last hairpin there as we came out of the corner, sending it down the front straightaway. Coming through, it's not going to be the best lap, but it's going to be a decent starting position as it's at 111.924, and we will start in the 10th position with Kyle Larson on the pole. So we're ready to go road course racing here in Sonoma. Let's move our way forwards and potentially get a win here today in Sonoma.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series hits the road today, literally, for the running of the Toyota Save Mart 350. Sonoma Raceway is the first of 3 road course events on this year's schedule. This twisting 12-turn, 1.99-mile drive through the heart of wine country is a true test of racing skill. There's over 160 feet of elevation change here, something that isn't obvious when watching on TV. Now, some turns are completely blind, like turns 3 and 3A, and you're almost always on the wheel here, which requires a different mindset after all the oval races. The pace car is coming down pit road. We're ready to go racing on PRN.
All right, we're ready to go green here for the first road course race of the season here in Sonoma. Austin Dillon starting in the back after an engine change after qualifying, and that is your only note coming in to this event here for Sonoma as we're ready to go green from the 10th starting position. Kyle Larson on the pole as the green flag waves, and we are underway here in Sonoma behind the 14 of Clint Boyer. Don't want to mess with him, otherwise he'll throw punches at us, so we got to be careful with Clint Boyer now as we head up the hill down into the first few corners of this course. One of the more fun road courses in racing, in my opinion. I really love racing at this circuit. Now as we head up towards the end of this first sector, Truex immediately takes over the lead from Kyle Larson. So Larson starts on the pole, doesn't hang on long to that pole position now as we head down towards turns 4, I believe, as we're going to try and stick it up the inside of William Byron, but think a little bit better of it now as we clear Ryan Blaney and take over that 9th position. As we're going to head down in the next corner, we're going to send it up the inside of the 24 with a bit of a dive bomb, a Daniel Ricciardo-esque move right there, as he is certainly known for some awesome dive bombs and making them stick, and we try to do that myself as we come through the S's. Now William would be able to take over the position though, and we wouldn't be able to quite complete the pass on William Byron there. But as we came through now on lap 2, still on that 9th position, lurking behind the 24 of William Byron as we come up the hill. Alex Bowman now behind me in that 10th position. He's having a much better season in our career mode than he's ever had in the past. He currently sits inside the playoffs as William Byron goes up on 2 wheels there in front of us for a moment. A very interesting moment for him as he just about had a chance to flip over there as we get through and get a bunch of momentum on William again, and we're going to send it up the inside again with another dive bomb on Byron, but this time it's going to just about work now as we battle side by side. We make a little bit of contact there, but we do get the position for the moment now as we head down into the S's as we take over P8, but we get sideways into the grass we go, but we hang on to the cars. We make contact with Alex Bowman, a big save right there, as that was not what we needed to have happen obviously, and we would settle out in that 10th position as we were coming towards just 2 to go on the stage. This is one of the shortest races of the season in NASCAR Heat 3 now as we come through the hairpin, getting loose again. I was dealing with a lot of oversteer in this early run now as we come through. We would close in quickly on the back of Alex Bowman within the next lap or so as we came to the final lap now in stage 1. We had closed in a good bunch on Alex Bowman, who is running behind his teammate of William Byron, so we're certainly going to try and get a position or two if we can before we get to the line here, this being now the last lap obviously in the stage, so we're trying to get whatever spots we can as we close in on Alex Bowman. Now around the next corner we would be able to make a move to his right hand side and take the 9th position away from Alex Bowman as we get a little bit sideways there, and I knew right there that when I got sideways that was going to eliminate my chance of running down the 24 before we got to the final turn, so pretty much just trying to hold on at this point to the 9th position here in stage 1 as Martin Truex Jr. I believe is still out front at this point as we come through the S's heading down towards the final hairpin, closing in on the back of William Byron, but certainly not enough time left to get to him as you see Denny Hamlin, Jamie McMurray up ahead there as we go down into the hairpin for the final time in the stage. Byron actually got into the back of Boyer there as we come out of the hairpin. We're not going to have the speed to get past William Byron, and we're going to come through to get a solid 9th place finish in this first stage after starting 10th. Certainly could have done better, but we made a few mistakes there which really costed us some time, but hopefully we can make up for these mistakes within the next stage here in Sonoma. We would not have to come to pit road in this first stage as Truex did indeed win stage 1. And now we're ready to start this second stage here in Sonoma, and the green flag is back out, and we are underway. Martin Truex Jr. leads the way up the hill. He won last episode for the first time this season, and now he's trying to continue that momentum here in today as Alex Bowman looks to our left-hand side as we pulled over to the right side of the track as we're kind of sandwiched around some Hendrick cars between Byron, Bowman, and Johnson now as we look to the right-hand side of Clint Boyer as we come up through the hill, approaching kind of the end of the first sector of this course now as we approach the back bumper. William Byron have been around him quite a bit in this race, and we're going to try and set it up his inside again to try and get ahead of him as we come through the right-hander. Byron on my left side as we make a little bit of contact there as we head down the straightaway side by side, still with Byron, but as we come through the corner we're going to be able to clear William Byron and now salvage the 7th position as Kyle Larson this time has taken the lead from Martin Truex Jr. So last time Larson started first, Truex took the lead. This time Truex starts stage 2 and first, and Larson is able to take the lead from Truex. So maybe there's something going on with the lanes of the restarts that's allowing second place to get an advantage over first there as we get sideways out of the bend, now heading down into the final turn to complete this first lap now as Jamie McMurray goes spinning up ahead, and we're going to go around on the left hand side. A big moment for Jamie McMurray in the number 40 car as he would be able to still hang on to P10. We would not have to come to pit road obviously as the caution comes out, and now Larson sits P1. We're up to 6. We might have a chance to do something here in this second stage as Truex might be able to take the lead on this restart. It seems to be the trend now as the green flag is back out. We are underway side by side with our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate of Denny Hamlin now as we just have 2 laps to go at this point in the second stage, so not much time left remaining. As I've said before, this is certainly one of the shortest races on the schedule in NASCAR Heat 3, and as we came through up at the end of the hill now, still in P5 behind Harvick and Elliott battling side by side. Truex did take the lead as we get sideways and make a huge save here in Sonoma. We would recover and actually gain another few spots by the time we get into the final lap of this stage 2, still here in P6 behind Denny Hamlin, but a huge moment there as I came out of the corner and I just got on the throttle too hard. It was simple as that. I knew when I got on the throttle that I probably was pushing it down way too hard too fast, and it certainly showed there as I lost the back end and nearly plummeted into the barrier. But a huge save here in Sonoma keeps us in it. We've done this before at Sonoma where we went through the grass and made a big save. This time we just about straight up drove it into the barrier, but we make a huge save and we would rally back to come through to get P6 in this second stage. So we're still in it and a good chance to maybe come through and get a top 5 and maybe even have a chance to win if we can keep the car clean here in this third and final stages. All these guys would come to pit road. I would come to pit road obviously to take fuel only. No tires is what I did back here in season 1. So I decided, okay, we're going to try this again. This is the first time doing Sonoma back on 2X wear. So we decided no tires, and that would be the right call as we're ready to start this final stage. Truex out front as the green flag is out, and we are underway once again. Truex has won both stage 1 and 2. Larson starting second, so he probably has a good chance to take the lead from Truex here as we head up the hill for this third and final stage.
Still there?
And I think we certainly do have the speed to at least get a top 5 here, maybe have a chance to contend for the victory. As we have Denny Hamlin just here on my left side. He is going to fall behind me. So we get up now into that top 5 as Bowman, or not Bowman, Elliott and Harvick continue to battle side by side as we're going to force it up the inside 3 wide, and then we back out of it thinking better of ourselves as we make contact with Kevin Harvick, but we do move up to that 4th position now as we're going to send it up the inside of the 9 of Chase Elliott as we try to take the position away from him. A bit of a dive bomb. We've been using the dive bomb a couple times in this race. Usually I don't do that, but I was feeling pretty aggressive in this episode now as we do take the position from Elliott and now move up into that 3rd position here in Sonoma. And it certainly seems like me being a little more aggressive than usual on this track is starting to pay off now, as we would actually have a bit of a moment there, but we would hang on to the position thankfully over Elliott. And by the time it came to just 10 laps to go in this race, Truex, he had pullen away from Kyle Larson. He'd pullen away from everybody as you see him long gone up ahead, several seconds ahead, as we were starting to close in on the back of the 42 of Kyle Larson. And I already knew that we were going to need a caution if we wanted to run down the 19 of Truex. And as we came to lap 22 now, all over the back of the 42 as we send it up the inside of him, but we go wide and the 42 is going to cross us over. Larson retakes the position for the moment there as we come through down into the S's at this point. Some really good racing between myself and Kyle Larson as we came to the next lap, lap 23, 8 to go. I decided, you know what, we're not waiting around anymore. We're going to try to send it up the outside of Larson now as we come through up the hill, and we get a lot of oversteer on the exit of the corner, but I'm still committed to try and pass this 42 the hard way as we go around his outside there up the hill again, and this time we're going to make it work as we come out of the corner. We pass Kyle Larson and take over the 2nd position here in Sonoma, but at this point, Larson had been working me so hard that we had lost way too much time to Martin Truex Jr. that we were going to need a caution if we wanted the chance to win this race. As you see right now, at lap 26, 5 to go, he's nowhere even in my sight. So we were certainly way behind Martin Truex Jr. Now certainly deciding to start pushing the limit here as he was actually starting to close in on lap traffic, surprisingly enough, here in Sonoma. Wouldn't expect to see that happen, but that was allowing me to actually close in just a little bit on Martin Truex as we had at this point 3 to go, trying my best to just close that gap to Truex, even though we're seconds and seconds and seconds behind. That we are now coming to the white flag at this point, still 5 seconds behind Martin Truex Jr. as I was just on an island of my own for really the last 6-7 laps of this race as you come through now up the hill for the final time here in Sonoma. It was certainly the first stage, the second stage, and the beginning of this 3rd stage was pretty good. It was pretty action-packed, and now the last handful of laps have been pretty dull now as Truex, he is stuck up there in lap traffic as it's now down to under 4 seconds between myself and Truex, but it doesn't look like we have enough time on this final lap to run down the 19 driver of Martin Truex Jr. If we had another 3 or 4 laps, could probably get there, maybe even within 2 laps, but it looks like it's not going to be enough today in Sonoma. We won this race last season with a last lap pass, but 3.5 seconds isn't close enough to run down Martin Truex Jr. as it's JGR running 1-2 right now as we come through the S's for the final time in Sonoma. Larson lurks behind now as we head down through the right bend for the final time, heading down towards the hairpin here in turn 11 as Truex won last episode in Michigan for his first win of the season, and he is looking to continue that momentum with a stage 1 and 2 victory here today, and now he is going to win the race in Sonoma as we're going to come through and follow him to finish in the 2nd position for 2 races in a row to Martin Truex Jr. Certainly a slight disappointment, finishing second 2 races in a row. Now I guess we can be called Alex Bowman. I guess we just got to finish second one more time as Truex gets 2 consecutive victories here after having no wins coming into the last episode. Now he's got 2 in a row. So David Reagan down there in the last, Ty Dillon 39th, a lap down. But next episode we will be going to Chicagoland, which is a track I've always struggled at. So we probably won't continue this 2nd place finishing streak in the next episode as we sit P4 in the standings. Ryan Blaney 12 behind there as Kyle Busch continues to lead the regular point standings there, as hopefully we can go into Chicago and maybe run top 10 if we're lucky. We usually run like around 20th there, but we're going to certainly change it up with the setup and maybe try some new tactics at that track to see if it'll work out for us. Hopefully it will. We'll have to wait and see, but as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos, and the next one, like I said, Chicago for both Xfinity and the Cup Series. Let's hope we can finally have a good run at that track. It's probably going to be really tough, but hopefully we can make it happen as we have the playoff standings now up on the screen. Kyle Busch leads the playoff standings as we follow 3rd behind Martin Truex Jr. McMurray's the first guy, 85 out, and I believe it's Austin Dillon currently, or no, it's Eric Almirola, the last car in. So thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.